You're listening to Workforce Innovation News, powered by WIOA 23. Get ready to hear about all things workforce development and workforce innovation. And now, on to the episode.
Hello, and welcome to WIN, Workforce Innovation News. I am Jamie Korda-Hijawi, the Director for WIOA 23. Today, I'm super duper excited. I think I say that about all my guests, and I love all guests equally, but I'm super duper excited about Kelly. Kelly is the new WIOA Program Director at CEFS. So she is the boots on the ground for the WIOA services that are provided through the WIOA 23 office. We serve a huge region, and my team's very small, so we appreciate having a team at CEFS who's already in those communities across those 13 counties doing the work.
Yeah.
So, Kelly, welcome. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Give me a little bit of background, what you were doing before you got into the WIOA program at CEFS, and just anything that you want to share about yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited about being here. My name is Kelly Denton, and like she said, I am the new WIOA director at CFS. I've been there a short time, but I'm learning a lot. It's very challenging and lots to learn, but it's very exciting. I love helping people. I love seeing lives changed. Before that, I worked in a different department at CFS. I worked in the outreach department. I worked with homeless individuals. That was very rewarding work. But I love the idea of helping folks find their potential in their careers. So
I love it. So how long were you in outreach and working with people facing homelessness?
So I was there about 5 years and learned a lot there. There's always something to learn, and everything seems to be changing all the time, but that keeps you on your toes.
It does. And so that prepared you well, because WIOA, there's always something new and
Yeah.
always something keeping us on our toes.
Yes.
So I realized earlier when thinking about this episode that it's been a long time since we did just a What is WIOA episode. Probably hasn't happened much since episode 1, really. So how do you feel about doing an overview of what WIOA services are and how that looks at the CEFS office?
Okay, well, Jamie, this is the thing. When I took this position and I started talking to people about, hey, I got this new position, and I heard a lot of people saying, well, what is WIOA? Well, I don't know what that is. Oh, and then when I try to explain, they're like, oh, I really wish I would have known that when I was going to school or when I was sending my kids to school. And I really don't feel like WIOA is getting out there. We just don't get it. And I think people are like, that's too good to be true. So I would like to make sure that people know what WIOA is, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about that today. So our WIOA services, we have lots of different services. So to start with, we have a 13 county region, which is big, and I do have those right here. I want to tell everyone what those counties are.
Please do, yeah.
We have Marion, Effingham, Clay, Cumberland, Lawrence, Coles, Clark, Edgar, Moultrie, Richland, Jasper, Crawford, and Fayette. I know that sounds like a lot.
It does. Have you looked at the square mileage of that region?
I think I've heard you say, yes.
250 square miles.
Wow. Yeah.
Bigger than the state of Connecticut.
Wow. Yes. And so that's why we have 7 offices that cover that, with 10 career planners that work in those counties. And they are at work right now really hard. So some of our services, some of them are very basic, like we'll help with interviewing skills, resumes, job search, those kinds of things. They can mostly walk in. Most people don't even have to have an appointment for that. And our big ones, I think, are our vocational training. We'll do 2-year degrees, programs, certificates, and then we also have our work-based learning programs, work experience, and on-the-job training. And we can go into those a little more in depth if you like.
Yeah, well, we definitely could. I think so. real quick, I want to go back to WIOA being like the best kept secret, because
Yeah.
that's what I heard when I took the position. That's, as I learned more about it, I'm like, this was available to me when I was in school and I didn't even know it, because WIOA, WIOA, has been around for decades, just by different names. And it's changed a bit, but the overall goal of economic development through workforce development, it's been the same. It's been there for a long time. But because of changes and just because different areas do different things, it is hard to know what it is and to see it out there. So I appreciate that you're recognizing that too, and that you see the importance of us increasing awareness and understanding of what WIOA even is, and that it's a resource available.
Yeah.
So you go into those services, the job search and like just job readiness services and the vocational training and the work experience. What has been your favorite one so far as you learn about it, that you really stood out to you as this does sound too good to be true, but now I know the inner workings and I know it's not too good to be true.
Right.
It's a real thing.
I think the biggest thing, and especially when I'm telling others about this, is they are like, you pay for college, you pay for books and fees and tuition and all of that. And I'm like, yeah, and people are so surprised. But like you said, I think that's the best kept secret. People, it's real, you know? So that's my favorite. I love to be able to help someone who maybe they could never, ever dream of affording to go to college. And we can assist them for a 2-year degree. They get their 2-year degree in a program that they love, and they are, fulfilled, and they go out and get their dream job, or, just make a good living for their family. And especially love seeing single moms, because that's my heart. So I love to see a single mom go to school, get her degree, be able to take care of her babies, and also, make a good living and do something she loves.
Yes, I'm right there with you. Having been a single mom, that those stories definitely pull on my heartstrings. And to see, not only are they providing for their children and, fulfilling their duties as a good mother, but they're also developing their selves. So they have a sense of pride and accomplishment and identity outside of just being a mom, because being a mom is huge and massive, but from my own experience, I also needed that something outside of that. And to see other women have those same feelings and be able to find that other thing that makes them them.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
I agree so much, and that's really amazing too. I personally experienced that. It just helped me in my personal growth and just developing my own self-esteem and making me a stronger woman.
Exactly. Yes. Self-esteem. That is a good point. So when we think about WIOA and the services, and we really think of the free tuition or the work-based learning, but ultimately all of this is leading back to that personal development. Yes, we're developing their careers, but we're building in that pride and that self-esteem. So can you talk a little bit about what an individual going into CEFS to get, or CEFS to get some WIOA support, what could they experience? Is it just a one-size-fits-all process here? Fill out this form, we give you money, or what does it look like for them?
So we have the 10 career planners who work with individuals. They help them develop a career plan for them, directly, not just, here, you fill this out and do whatever you want to do. I mean, they really talk to them and help them to understand, hey, let's look over here and see what we can do for you. What do you like to do? What are your interests? And so there's a lot to it. It's not just come in and fill out a form. Our career planners are great ladies, and they do a wonderful job, very personable, and they enjoy what they do. So
awesome. So it's using that equity lens and looking what that individual needs, what their life challenges are, their circumstances, and helping them overcome those obstacles so that they can have opportunities for success and they can build up that self-confidence, that self-esteem.
Right. And what might be right for one, maybe one needs to go to college and get a 2-year degree, or maybe another one needs a CDL program, or maybe another one just needs a work learning experience. There's lots of different ways to assist someone without putting them all in college or all in work-based learning. So we have lots of different avenues to assist someone.
Much more than what meets the eye,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
And there's hardly anything hitting the eye at times, it sounds like, with that being the best kept secret.
Yeah.
So how about, we talked a bit about the tuition, how about the work experience programs?
Okay, well, I would like to go back to
Okay.
the vocational training because we can do supportive services as well. So in some cases, we can pay for transportation and childcare. And then most programs will have something that they need, like something required, like shoes or uniforms or tools, and we can pay for those as well. And so I've had people, when you explain that to them, they're like, oh my gosh, you can buy $2,000 worth of tools or something like that. That's really a big help to an individual that is trying to go to school, maybe working a side job, taking care of kids. You know, $2,000 is a lot of money. And if they can't afford those tools, we can assist. And I think just helping with the supportive services is a really big deal.
That is huge. And I feel bad that I neglected to even bring that up
no.
because that's one of my favorite things too. But that's the thing. When you're in WIOA and living it every day, it gets so enmeshed that you forget, okay, there are so many things we do.
Yeah.
But especially with our, what we call in education, career and technical education programs. And then at Lakeland College specifically, I know they're referred to as workforce ready programs. But those programs that are designed to get people into careers quickly, with a lot of occupational skills. So thinking like automotive tech, nursing, dental hygiene, there's often high costs for supplies to go along with.
Right.
And those tools, and just knowing that all right, even if I have tuition help, I still have to pay for all of these supplies can be daunting. So
right.
For students, potential participants to know that there's help for that, maybe they'll be less likely to be deterred by the high price tag of the supplies even after tuition.
Right. And childcare. I mean, you got to think about that single mom. Childcare is really expensive these days, and not everyone has a grandma or a mom who can take care of your child while you're going to school. So having that cost paid is a really big thing.
That is. And I was just reminded the other day about our policy for childcare. So for childcare, do they have to put their child into a pre-approved designated childcare center that they don't have a choice over? Or is the choice left up to the customer to decide where to send their child for daycare?
You know, I'm not 100% on that. I do believe that they can choose where they want to go. So that's very helpful. I don't. It
You're
would be
right. They get to
okay.
choose,
I
yeah.
thought so, but I'm still pretty new at this. I hate to use that line, but I have to use it every once in a while.
You get to use it for 3 more years, 3.5 more years. Yes, because I'm still using it too.
Okay, that's great.
But that is really cool because as a single mom, I was in some programs that would say, we'll help you pay for childcare, but they have to go to this childcare center. And it's like,
yeah,
I have a lady that I trust, and that's who I want to use.
And if your child is already, used to that person and don't want to go somewhere else, then it's very helpful.
So that is a really cool thing that I think more people need to know, that we're trying to help in ways that fit them and their needs and not tell them how they need to be helped as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. So can we go back to work experience?
Yes,
Are you
I
ready
think
for
I'm
that
ready.
one? All
Yeah.
right. Tell me about work experience and what that looks like.
Okay, so we have those work-based learning programs that if there's areas that maybe you don't have a lot of job skills, or you're not really job ready. Work experience is a program that we at CEFS will pay your salary or your wages while you are set up at this work site. We have lots of work sites that would love to have individuals come in and work for them while we pay their wages. What we do is we ask that the work site work them no more than 29 hours a week, and that can last up to 364 days a year. So this is a great opportunity to get some really good job skills and get employees that you don't have to pay for. So if you're a business out there and you want to enjoy this opportunity, give us a call.
For sure. So that is one of my favorite programs because we are definitely helping the individual. They're getting those professional etiquette skills developed. They're learning about the workforce in this region, and they're learning occupational skills as well. And I think that goes really far because there's how many times have I myself and numerous people I know gone into job interviews or submitted a resume and have been told you don't have enough experience. Well, how do you get experience if no one will hire you because you don't have enough experience? So this program giving the opportunity to bulk up that resume, to get a person to understand really what is in that job or that occupation entails, because I can have this idea of it would be so cool to be a HVAC tech, but then get into it, have spent time learning, get into it and realize that's not a good fit. I don't like spiders and I don't want to crawl under the house.
Right.
So I could see this really being beneficial to the individual, of course, but on the business side, they're getting what is essentially free labor, but they're getting the chance to develop and hone their future workforce, to make those connections with people, young people, usually right here in this area, and potentially get a full-time employee out of it later. But really developing those, the professional skills, the accountability, that integrity and initiative. This is what's expected of you, and coaching them, mentoring them through what to expect in that industry and that occupation going forward.
Right, and our staff stay in contact and, continue to provide support for the employee. So, if they have questions, they come to our career planners and they talk with them, and our career planners give them, encouragement and support and advice maybe at times when they're confused about something or have something going on, which helps develop and train that individual to be a good employee.
It absolutely does, because there's a lot of things in life that affect our ability to be a good employee that we don't necessarily think, oh, well, if school starts at 8:15 and I have to be at work at 8, like, I need some help, but I don't even know where to go.
Right.
But that's what the career planner is for.
Right.
Like, it seems like it's a school issue, but really it's an employability issue. And how can we work together to brainstorm, figure out ways to try to get you what you need so that you can get your child dropped off at school and then get to work on time. Right. And I come up with that example because it's one I think.
I was gonna say, that sounds familiar.
I'm sure there's so much other stuff going on. If a career planner realizes that an individual's the caretaker for an aging family member, that's not necessarily something an employer is going to know and can't make accommodations or help the employee with, but the career planner can advocate or help that individual figure out how to balance those things so that they can be a good employee as well.
Right, and our career planners are very well versed on resources in their areas. So if there is an issue, we have lots of resources and connections that could possibly help whatever their need may be.
That's awesome. So it's not just a one size fits all. It's not just here's what we do for you and I can't help you with anything else. Right. It is a true net of support.
It is, yes.
That's awesome. So we have these great programs, but I know that we have very certain, we like to serve people who need the most help. So what would a person need to do to be eligible or qualify for WIOA programs? Okay,
so lots of times we help with the low income, and if you are on TANF, or if you are receiving food stamps, if you have been homeless.
There's so many different definitions of what we would call obstacles or barriers to employment or success that I never remember all of them, and then I overthink it and I can only remember a couple. And then it varies because we do have different funding streams and we call programs slightly different things. So would you agree that the best way for a listener to kind of identify, is that me or someone I know, is to think if they're 18 or over, they live in our 13 county area, they are able to work in the United States, and if they're male, they're selective service compliant, and that they're facing at least one, but some of our programs do require 2 barriers to success. So that could be low income,
Mhm.
that could be facing homelessness, could be a justice system involved.
Foster child.
Foster, aged out of foster
Mhm.
care, I think.
Yeah.
Single parent,
Yes.
displaced homemaker,
Uh-huh.
veteran status,
Yes, dislocated worker.
dislocated worker, skills deficient. So if you haven't gotten your high school diploma or GED, there's a list of like 20 different things.
Yes, and you did a great job. I did not do a very good job, but you did a great job. Thank you.
I got to like 6 out of the 20, so we're there. So it's worth though making the connection and asking, hey, this is my situation. I'd like to learn more about these services and if I'm eligible. So where would you
Yes.
tell them to go to?
Yes, if there's lots of different ways you can contact us. We do have 7 offices in our 13 county region, but I don't want to give out all of those. So I'm just going to give out my phone number and my operations program manager. So that is Elaine Nuding, and her phone number is 217-347-2101, and she is in Effingham. And then my phone number is 342-2193, extension 112. So that's 217-342-2193, extension 112. So
Awesome. And if we have any shy people who maybe don't want to make a phone call, because that is a thing. There's some days I don't want to make a phone call myself.
right.
Could they find contact information or an email address to reach out to at the website?
Yes, so our email, our website is CEFSEOC.org. And you can go on there and just click on the WIOA button, and that will lead you right to us.
Awesome. CEFSEOC.org.
Yes.
All right, good
Thank
deal.
you. Yes.
I like that you guys have a whole lot of random letters strung together, just like we do. So I don't feel so alone when I tell people, go to lwa23.net.
Yes, yes,
Lots-
thank you
Those
so
letters
much.
mean something, they do.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on time. What is a fun fact that you've learned or something that you want to make sure that you share and get out there today?
Okay, so one of your questions was, what is the vision for
Yes.
WIOA? And I really thought about that last night. And not only do I want people to know what WIOA is, but I really want to make sure that everyone who is eligible has the opportunity to experience, whether it's college or work-based programs. I really want that each person to be able to experience that, because it's an amazing thing to see someone's life changed. So that's the main goal. And then the overall goal, I guess, is just to make sure that the workforce is stronger. Our local, post-COVID, everything has changed so drastically in the workforce. And I would just really like to see our local area become stronger than it was pre-COVID. And I feel like WIOA really adds a lot of terrific employees and a lot of good things to our local labor pool. So I want to see that just be more vibrant, stronger in our local area, because being in the rural areas, it is difficult sometimes to find employees. And so I want to be able to add to our local workforce.
I love it. Like I'm fangirling over here and trying to hold it all in. I'm
Cool.
sure my face is getting brighter and my smile's getting bigger because that
Good.
was so well said. And I feel exactly the same way. And I do think that we can definitely add to the quality of life overall.
Definitely.
Whenever I talk to even just different partners in our workforce ecosystem, and I learn about their visions and what their overarching goal is, all of it does eventually trickle back to the root thing we're all going for, is improved quality of life in the area.
Right.
Nationally, of course, but regionally in our local communities as well.
Yeah.
And I think we all add to it. And I'm so excited to see what you do in your new role, how you lead CEFS, WIOA department in implementing all these great services that we have and raising awareness so that
Raising
more
awareness
families-
for sure.
Yes, I love it. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I do have one more thing.
Okay.
It'll just be real quick, a couple rapid fire questions so we learn a
Okay.
little bit more about you. These were not planned. I don't even have them with me, but it just occurred to me that I
Okay.
want to learn more about you as an individual.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna give you a couple questions. Don't think, just
Okay.
respond. A little filter though, don't get too wild. We've got listeners of all ages.
Okay.
Chocolate or vanilla,
Chocolate.
Pepsi or Coke,
Neither. I do not drink soda. Sorry.
coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Awesome. Let's see, what is your biggest fear?
Probably big, hairy spiders.
There's daddy long legs in my office the other day, and I'm like, oh, I don't even.
No,
wanna
these
go."
gotta be real chunky. The real chunky spiders are the scary ones.
What's your definition of success?
My definition of success is having that rewarding feeling of doing something good to help others and making sure that my family is happy as well.
I love it. I love that. That's a good answer. If you could be anyone for one day, who would you be?
Oh, wow. I have probably not thought of that. I would probably like to be a younger version of myself and start over.
Aw, I think you've come to a very amazing place in your life though, so I don't think you need to start over, but now I'm interested, what would you do if you could start over? But that's for a different podcast and different time.
Thank you again, Jamie.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate you so much. I can't wait to see what we can accomplish together, and I hope to
bet.
see you back on WIN Workforce Innovation News sometime soon.
Okay,
So with
thank
that,
you.
thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Workforce Innovation News powered by WIOA 23. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. To learn more about WIOA 23, visit lwa23.net.